The Riddler was right again. Man, this guy doesn't miss. We've got a ton to break down for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Let's take a look. Yo, whoa, what is going on YouTube? It's your boy Dan, aka Drive. Everybody got a brand new video today, and today we're diving into the news, rumors, and leaks for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, which seems to be kind of a daily event right now. There's a lot going on in the community, people bringing up all sorts of crazy stuff and all sorts of stuff circulating. So I'm gonna have it covered for you guys here. If you enjoy these types of videos, like the video down below and make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss our awesome content. Closing on 1 million subscribers. We got a lot to cover today. If you haven't heard yet, I'm doing a massive giveaway. In fact, our biggest giveaway ever, and it takes you guys 10 seconds to enter. All you have to do is check the link in the description below, add the online shopping tool browser extension to your desktop browser, which is gonna save you money by finding you coupons and the best deals online when you're shopping. And you're gonna add $5 to our prize giveaway pool for the end of May, and I'm gonna do a massive giveaway at that time. Our prize pool is already at $3,700. That's like 13 Nintendo Switches. So every single time one of you guys installs it to your desktop, we add $5 to the top of that. Maybe I'm giving away a car, but we'll definitely give away some Switches and much, much more. So make sure you guys install the browser for free right now. Check the link in the description below. It legit takes 2 seconds and you're gonna save money. It's a no-brainer. What are you waiting for? Okay, so first thing we're gonna look at here is RiddlerCoo posted on the 28th of April and says, I don't watch anime, but they are the 8 masters and journeys. And I didn't cover this on the channel because I wanted to kind of see what happened. I don't really follow the anime myself, but he posted an image of, you know, Leon and Elaine and Diantha, Cynthia, you know, whatever, you could see him. And it turns out, as reported this morning, a new piece of key art has been released for the upcoming Pokemon anime saga featuring the Pokemon World Coronation series. And who happens to be in the image? All of the people that RiddlerCoo shouted out a week ago. Wow. As if anyone doubted this guy had his connections, they continue, and it's actually wild. I don't even know what to say, man. Pretty crazy stuff. But I just wanted to mention, for anyone who doubts kind of the riddles that come out of him, there's even more proof there. Now we're gonna take a look at a couple different images that have surfaced the internet. I'm gonna give you my thoughts on them, and then there's actually one master riddle that came out from someone other than the Riddler that we're gonna talk about in this video, and that's really kind of the bread and butter of what we're looking at. First things first, we got this image of an Iberian Furret and Sentret, which are apparently new forms for the upcoming region. I don't believe these to be real. Apparently they were posted from the same poster who posted the Pyroar that we covered yesterday with the flowers around its neck. I don't think this is legit at all, if I'm being honest. I don't think Sentret, Furret are getting new forms that look like this. Further, there was another image that surfaced on the internet of a Spritzee, potentially being a dark type Spritzee. This I also believe to be fake. While it hasn't been confirmed either of the two images, I don't think these are real. I think these are just people trying to pass things off as fake or taking fan art or whatever it is and pretending that they are, you know, actual leaks for Scarlet and Violet. So again, I don't think that nor the Furret or the Spritzee are real. So again, I wouldn't put too much merit or stock into those. I don't think it's that big of a deal. Now, here is an image that came up on 4chan. Now, listen, could anyone put together an image like this? Yes. But this is reminiscent of the collage that we saw a few years ago that was a massive riddle going into Pokemon Sword and Shield. So let's look at that first. So here's the image from Pokemon Sword and Shield, which starts with Grookey, a question mark, and then a gorilla sitting at a drum set. Now, keep in mind, this was before we've seen all these Pokemon, right? Scorbunny, a question mark, and then a humanoid-looking rabbit. Sobble, a question mark, and then a spy chameleon with a little gun. Then you have a blank spot, and then you have what ended up being Greedent, which was on a t-shirt of a person in the stadium that was caught on camera in the game. Corviknight, Gossifleur, Eldegoss, question mark. I don't know if, I think that might have been Nickit or Thievul. I'm not sure what went into that slot or, you know, what Pokemon there. But then, actually, Choodle is what it was. And then you've got kind of what Dreadnought. This actually indicated that Dreadnought was getting an evolution, which is interesting. But ultimately, a lot of this other stuff was real. You end up having Wooloo, Dubwool, Yamper, and then the indication of Bolton, which was on kind of the side of the stadium. The long cat Meowth, the fat Pikachu, the Lapras with musical notes on it. A lot of this actually looks like it came from the Affleck leak as well. You've got Farfetch'd evolution, which ended up being Sirfetch'd. The ball of fur of Meowth, the Persian, getting a new form. The bird Pikachu with Cramorant in its mouth, so on and so forth, and then what ended up being Toxtricity. So some of this may have come from, you know, kind of the Ben Affleck leak, but we've seen images like this in the past, right? So as I said, these have a common format in the community in terms of leaks, and this is the newest one that has kind of surfaced. You've got a handful of different things on here. A lot of these are going to be tough to decipher. You've got like the train, you've got like the cat in the big block. You've got kind of the lanterns, and there's a couple things that are worth noting here. And Blaze Incineroar on Twitter actually kind of dove into some of these and kind of tried to take some guesses at what they think some of these things could be, kind of indicating that the elemental breakdown could have something to do with a cast form. Some other stuff on here like Sigilif potentially getting some love. Obviously Meowth being a big one. Kind of a discussion about the fact that all of the Meowth forms have been weak to fighting, being dark and steel and normal. So perhaps we are getting a rock or an ice type Meowth form. I don't know if they would do another Meowth form. You know, there's Eevee on this. Eevee's tail is on this. Could that be a hint towards a ghost type evolution? There's a lot of things. Dedenne makes an appearance, which could be a piggyback off of the, you know, kind of the Chinese uncle who talked about the Ratoncito Dedenne Tooth Fairy type of thing going on. So again, listen, anyone can throw together a bunch of pictures like this and pass it off to be some sort of cryptic rumor. So I'm not saying this is real by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm saying that this is something that we've seen in the past in the community, some of which had legitimacy to it, some of it which did not have legitimacy to it. And I think time will tell on this one. My guess right now on this is that it is just a bunch of images thrown together. Blaze Incineroar is trying to decipher it. They've been posting about which ones they think might be related to the starters. There's obviously the call out to, you know, the Meowth. There's some other thoughts on here about potentially being Goomy. Maybe there's a reference to toilet on there, maybe reference to an inanimate object like kind of Garbodor and Trubbish getting kind of different forms, things of that nature. So we'll have to wait and see what the kind of, you know, end result of this is. Again, I'm not going to hold too much weight on this one right here. I do feel like there's a chance that this ends up just being a bunch of images thrown together, but I did think it was worth mentioning. I think this also just kind of reinforces, as we kind of started the video today with RiddlerCoo, and kind of the information that's coming from Koo is really the stuff that is the most trusted, the most valid. That doesn't mean other things can't slip through the cracks. It doesn't mean there won't be other leaks from other sources. If there's one source, then there could always be more sources. But again, I think it's important to just recognize you got to take this stuff with a grain of salt. This very much so could just be a bunch of images thrown together. I'm not going to put too much weight on it at this point until we see something that maybe lines up after the next trailer. And that's going to give us a good indication whenever that trailer does come out of kind of what was real, what wasn't real, what was just people making stuff up. And one of the last things I wanted to mention today I found to be fascinating. Soul Silver had made a post about this, and I thought it was really cool. Basically, the idea behind it is that Legends Arceus basically teased what the new mechanic is going to be. There's been a lot of thought that there was going to be some sort of a third type introduced, or Pokemon can have 3 types, or maybe there's some sort of changing type as part of the gimmick, because the riddle we have from Koo at this point is the number 3. And what Soul Silver thought is, in Arceus, you can change your style in battle, agile style and strong style, by pressing the L or the R trigger buttons. What if you could do that in Scarlet and Violet, but with your type? So by pressing the trigger buttons in battle before you attack, you would change the type of which that move is, whether it's the types that you have, maybe it's the types that you have plus a third type based on your held item. I feel like that is what makes the most sense to me from a gimmick perspective, right? When we think of adding a third type, or this idea that types are such a big thing in this game, to me, that is the most feasible way that I could think of that they could introduce something like that. And I actually feel that's a really good idea. So keep that in the back of your head as we move forward and try to figure out what this mechanic is going to be, what this gimmick is going to be. And think about this idea. I think Soul Silver might be onto something here. So that's everything going on in the rumor and leak community right now. I hope you guys enjoyed this breakdown. Again, I think it's a lot of just smoke right now. Not anything too crazy, but if we did need any confirmation that the Riddler is indeed legit, we have another bit of information regarding that, and they know more than just the games. They seem to know the anime as well, or at least have some connections that can get them that information. Don't forget to enter our amazing giveaway. All you gotta do is download the online shopping tool extension in the description below. You're missing out if you don't. Massive giveaway. As you can see, we are closing out $4,000 for that, and we're gonna give away some crazy stuff at the end of the month, so don't miss out. Saves you money, it's free, and it's just a no-brainer. Thanks so much for watching this one, guys. I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.